Hey everyone, Rocket here with the coverage of Internet Computer Footprint. This one's going to be a little different just because of the content isn't typical for a NFT project. But anyways, let's get into it. So this is Internet Computer Footprint, founded by Orlando Hutchings, CEO, and I'm guessing his brother Hamish Hutchings, cloud engineer, CTO. So, so what is Internet Computer Footprint? It's a company that provides real-time carbon analytics for cloud networks, blockchain, and IoT. They partnered with Definity to create Proof of Green, which is an initiative that aims to cut greenwashing, a real-time dashboard to make IC carbon footprints transparent. All right, so let's break that down. So greenwashing, I actually need to. All right, so greenwashing is the act of making false or misleading statements about the environmental benefits of a product or practice. Okay, so I got a little ahead of myself there, but let's take a step back. All right. You know what? Let's jump into this article and see what we can learn from it, and we'll kind of diagnose it together. So this article was published by Medium, June 2nd, 22. Orlando Hutchings. He is the CTO of Footprint, and they write here in this article. You know what? I'm just going to read it verbatim, and then we'll just break it down as we go. So, any idea that wants to play a positive role in defining the future must take into account the health of our planet. The internet computer ecosystem is the home of many such ideas and the radical thinkers who birthed them. We want IC Footprint to be the climate partner of choice, representing, protecting, and regenerating the planet as the IC shapes it. We started IC Footprint because we saw a critical flaw in the IC, and as environmentalists, couldn't go about building our big ideas on the platform until we solved it. What problem? Unavoidable emissions caused by canisters, cycles. In our mind, a prerequisite for making the IC a force for good in the world is to ensure that all unavoidable emissions are accounted for and offset in a transparent way. So all of these emissions are accounted for and offset. What exactly does that mean? So I think the what did they call it here? The proof of green. So what that's going to do is in real time, it's going to be able to calculate the CO2 emissions coming off of each cycle. And with that, they would be able to come up with an equivalent offset to bring those CO2 levels back down to a more regulated amount. All right, let's keep reading here. So IC Footprint is the first step in Carbon Crowd's journey to harness the unique capabilities of blockchain technology to tackle the most critical challenges of our time, that of climate change. All right, perfect. So what is IC Footprint? The IC Footprint uses verified carbon credits to offset IC project cycles on chain. We have developed a proprietary coefficient which calculates estimated carbon emissions per cycle. Perfect. So that's what I was explaining earlier. Once the IC footprint of a project is calculated, it can be offset using Corsia eligible nature-based carbon credits from Vera. All right. What is a nature-based carbon credit? So that's going to include things like restoring forests, replace fossil fuels with renewable energy, um, things like that, planting trees. And right now, um, um, a lot of this nature-based carbon credits are being sold by companies like TerraPass, Finite Carbon, Climeworks, Green Trees. There's a few others, and so they are issuing verified carbon credits to big name corporations like Microsoft, Bank of America, MetLife, etc. Those are just some of the bigger ones. And so what happens is these guys are putting out an excess of CO2 and methane, not good for the atmosphere, right? It creates like a blanket around the atmosphere, trapping in heat, causing the temperature to rise. And so the initiative here is to remove some of that CO2 and methane from the atmosphere, allowing more of the heat to escape. And so nature-based removals, that's just one of the methods. Another example would be TBR, technology-based removals, which some may argue are a little more efficient and effective as far as retaining the carbon that they pull in. The nature-based, like I said, that's just using the natural process of trees to absorb a lot of that CO2 from the air, and typically goes down the tree root systems into the ground, gets stored underground, but then occasionally, for whatever reason, it'll start to kind of seep out. But definitely it's amazing. It's amazing. Now, the only thing I have a problem with here on the nature-based removals, and it really has nothing to do with the actual usability of trees in this scenario, but it's the verification of carbon credits that go through a company that has had an investigation launched on them, and that investigation found that rather than planting trees, right, that's the whole purpose of the natural based, is to plant trees that aren't there. However, Vera, this company, was caught giving carbon credits against trees that were already there. That's not how this is supposed to work. And so that I got to look into that a little bit more, but it's just the lack of integrity. It's an issue that crypto is trying to solve. So that's that. This industry is forecasted to be worth $10 to $25 billion by 2030. These guys just started out. I think the floor price for well, you know what? We'll get to that once we get to that section. But so initially, so how these things work: a company outputs X amount of CO2. They're allotted a certain amount. So if they go past that allotted amount, they need to somehow reduce the CO2 that they're putting into the atmosphere. And right now there are two ways of doing it. Either the company starts to cut down on certain production and therefore literally reducing the carbon emissions that are coming out of the facility, or they can buy these carbon credit offsets, which so the companies I mentioned here, TerraPass, Finite Carbon, Climeworks, all these other guys, as they plant trees, they are removing CO2 from the atmosphere. And so that's measured, and then that gets put into a carbon credit and then sold on the carbon credit market. Yes, there's a market for this. And then these corporations come in and buy up what they need to bring their CO2 levels down. That's on the corporate side. That's on the traditional side of this. But I think I'm getting a little too ahead of myself. Let's stick to what IC Footprint aims to improve here. So so let's keep going here. Okay, so the ultimate goal of IC Footprint is to build a trustless measurement mechanism which can automatically calculate carbon emissions from canisters, then consume an on-chain asset to offset the associated emissions in real time. To date, certain aspects of the IC prevent the implementation of such an end-to-end trustless system, but we look forward to engaging with the IC community at large to develop a strategy for achieving this. Okay, so some challenges they ran into. Developing an end-to-end trustless mechanism for IC Footprint has certain complexities. Cycles measurements on the IC is not straightforward and requires intricate architecture to ensure we can reliably measure a project's canister cycle without compromising canister security. Further trust is required in a project's reporting of canisters, with no clear way to ensure we are indeed taking into account all project canisters and not just those reported. Although we believe the IC community is committed to tackling climate change and will report accurate figures. To build deeper trust in IC footprints, we must move in the direction of the end-to-end trustless mechanism. Calculating baseline coefficient that can accurately measure the carbon footprint of a single cycle was and remains a challenge. We want to directly acknowledge that this coefficient is not and never will be in its final form. Rather, we are using the most up-to-date techniques to formulate a methodology behind measuring the data transfer and by extension the CO2 emission of a cycle. Our strategy is to share the exact methodology on our website and engage the IC community to help in consistently improving the coefficient. Our channel on the Carbon Crowd Discord server currently serves as a forum for discussion on this topic, and longer term we plan to build a dedicated DAO to further democratize the coefficient development. That's great. So what's next? The Internet Computer Footprint is an initiative by Carbon Crowd. It represents the first of three phases in the development of our vision to build the utility and use cases for climate assets, the world's newest and most important asset class. So phase 1, roadmap. Develop a safe, accurate, trustless mechanism for canister cycle measurement. Develop a DAO to manage and improve coefficient calculations. Move carbon assets on-chain to enable real-time asset retirement against canister footprints. So that's phase 1, project roadmap. Offset 50 projects on the IC, all golden ticket holders. Become the standard for offsetting on the IC. Offset all unavoidable emissions on the IC using IC footprint mechanism. Phase 2 of our vision is to develop an investment platform where users can buy, sell, take positions on climate assets. Initially, this will be limited to carbon credits, but we are exploring other climate asset initiatives and will add them to our platform as they mature. The phase 2 platform is in development, and we already offer certain phase 2 functionality on a bespoke basis. Phase 3 of our vision is to build an investment mechanism so we can fund climate projects that are tackling climate change around the world. Funded projects will be eligible to sell the climate assets they produce through the Carbon Crowd platform. An investor could be partially or fully compensated with a proportion of assets produced by the funded project. Okay, so this phase is still in discovery. I am really liking what I see here on here on phase 2, giving us exposure to another investment platform, something different, something unique. And I actually found this quote here in one of the articles. But new challenges, it goes like this. New challenges nearly always produce new markets, and the ongoing climate crisis and rising global emissions are no exception. That is so true. That is so true. Talk about getting in early, into these carbon credits. It's right now. It's a let me see, 10 to $25 million. I'm sorry. So this is the correct stat here. So it's forecasted to be worth $10 to $25 billion by 2030. Right now, we're sitting at a worth of $400 million. So think about that. If we start to get ourselves into this, get into position, when the entire market cap of this is valued at $4 million, $400 million, I'm sorry, and it's forecasted to be worth $10 to $25 billion by 2030. Guys, come on. That's in 6 years. You're doing good, right? You're helping the environment. You're helping IC Footprint. I know that they're pretty new, and I know they have some NFTs right now on the marketplace selling, and it appears that they're going to be using that to fund the rest of their project. Guys, this, aside from the good that's going to come out of this, it could potentially be very lucrative. So keep that in mind. Not financial advice, of course, but all right. So this is Carbon Crowd. So Hamish Hutchings, CTO, Carbon Crowd. So this is the these are the guys behind IC Footprint. All right, so we read that. We did a couple things. Let's check out the NFTs. All right, so here we go. The ultimate goal, I'm pretty sure this paragraph here was in the article I just read, so I'm going to skip over that. Let's just go over to activity to see if anyone's even buying these. All right, so 4 months ago, someone purchased Internet Footprint, 13 ICP. All right, so it seems like they're a little stag right now, but I know they are trying to make moves to collab with a marketer, and there was a name thrown out there, and we'll see. I know he's pretty active in this whole space. He's in Hong Kong right now with Dominic, so he's he would be a good choice for this. I'm not sure if they partnered up yet, because that recommendation was made back in March, I believe. All right, so let's see. So floor price, 10 ICP. What do we get? Right? Everyone wants to know that. So mint date, June. It's on the blockchain, ICP. Rewards. So name on public ledger of founders, guys. So if you want to be a founder, this is a pretty cool opportunity. Golden ticket. They did make mention of the golden tickets. Let me see. I think that gives you access to a whole bunch of stuff. Like you can call in with the team. They can advise you somehow and do all of that stuff. So I believe that's what that's alluding to. Early access to release of phase 2. Okay. verified carbon credits, obviously, blah, blah, blah. We already did all of that. So, I mean, it's $160 entry right now. That's the cheapest one on the market. And then from there, it jumps to 13. But guys, I mean, this could be a long-term play, right? Purchase, forget it. 2030, 2040, who knows what these things could be worth. And not just like the specific NFT, but just this, like the reward, especially name on public ledger of founders. That's pretty cool, man. Like you can look back and, you know, show your kids, show your family that you had initiative to help out and give back. All right, so enough of that. Let's check out their Twitter. Are these guys active? Let's see. The last post they retweeted 11 hours. Okay, it's not bad. So they're still around. Here we go. All right, so looking to bring someone on to support with marketing team. Any suggestions? Question marks. If you guys have any suggestions, you know where this is. X. Just go to Footprint. Of course, follow them. Scroll down. You'll see it. It's the second post. Looking to bring someone in. Let's see who was recommended, if anyone. Which I already know the answer to this, but right there. Aaron Bremser. So I know he is very active in this space. He's advising and working with a few other crypto projects. Be nice. Would be nice. He's a big voice in the community. So, all right. So there you have it. Nairobi meetup. When is this? I don't live in Nairobi, but for anyone listening who does, you can find out more here. Just go to their Twitter. All right, guys. That's all I have for you on this one. Yeah, that's it. That's all I have. I'm checking out. I'll be back with another one maybe later tonight, actually. Maybe we can go on a shopping spree. And who knows, maybe this might be on my list. I may pick one of these up. Who knows? All right, guys. Take care. Peace.